Sylvia. New microphone setup. If the audio sucks, then we'll learn something. And ironically, the audience will learn less, because they won't hear it.
Kumu sta.
You mean como esta?
No, I mean
What?
kumu. No, kumus ta.
What language is that?
Tagalog.
Really? Well, I can't correct you or confirm.
It's
There's no...
derived from Spanish.
Okay. Where do they...
What they did.
Where do they speak that then?
Filipino.
Ah, that kind of derived, I see. Colonialism derived.
That thing,
Right.
yes.
All right, I got you. Okay. What do you want to do first? We have a review of the most important film of the decade. Could be the century.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. What's the other option?
There's a feedback.
Yeah.
Dog story. Got a dog story for you?
Feedback.
Feedback first. All right. Well, we got a couple of episodes to cover. We got Willie saying simply to the Laura episode where she interviewed me. Did you like that?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Well, Willie says simply more of this.
Oh.
And I don't know which
this?
Yeah, is it more of Laura or more of me? I don't know. More of Laura and me. Whatever.
It was nice.
Yeah. Then there's Anonymous says, Danny, stop teasing topics you might forget and 5 minutes later be obsessed with some other thing.
True. I agree.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I've teased quite a lot of things on the show so far.
We'll talk about that more, or we'll have you back on to talk about that bit.
Yeah.
Very.
It's like I meet someone and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You want to come talk about it? But then I meet a Peruvian person or whatever right after, and then I'm like, nah, that goes first. You know? Yeah. Probably it's becoming quite high pressure to meet me in real life. Because you're going to think like, okay, I'm not going to say anything where he's going to be like, hey, by the way, do you want to, you know, come talk some ass about that?
You're like scouting at every event.
Yeah. All right. Then we had Christian about prisons and music and everything, trauma and abuse and drugs and alternative lifestyle. It was all kinds of van life. Did I say prison? Yeah, and Cambridge and what, lots of feedback about that one. All positive. We had let me read you this one. This one I agree with actually. Oh wow, this guy had a way with words. There'd probably be more stories for a second episode. And that one was from Ricky. And I agree with that. I think I thought so too.
Focus in on any of those areas of his life.
Yes. But I won't make the mistake of again teasing something that may.
Promise that.
Yeah, not gonna this time. Not gonna promise.
Even though you just teased it technically.
Just said I had the same thought. Then we had our favorite feedbacker of all time. Do you know who that is?
Dirty.
Dirty who? He sent another novel where it's half questions, half feedback. Let me just this one goes for I'm gonna combine, so this is for Dirty Yossi and some others. Roughly said this. Hell of an episode, the most recent one. Very interesting guy. When he said he was violent when he was young, wonder why he didn't attack his father. Well, he did mention it, Christian did, that he couldn't be violent towards his father. He said that because that was the monster under the bed, you know, the provider. You know, it's like a dog biting the hand that feeds it or whatever, even though it hits you as well, or, you know. And also, Dirty Yossi was confused about how in the UK in the 60s, was it really that homophobic still?
Very much.
Because his dad was closeted gay.
It was banned, wasn't it, still?
Yeah, still legally, still against the law.
Was it not banned in Finland then at that?
No.
What?
What's ever been banned in Finland? Other than happiness and,
okay, I can give you a few things.
General friendliness.
If you don't put the right tyres on for the winter, you're banished. If you want alcohol from a shop, you can't. If you want to buy lemsip, they're like, oh no, we couldn't possibly give this to you without like prior signature by
that's the price we all pay for being exactly as gay as we want. So there you go.
And it's Pride weekend in Brighton, I believe, this weekend. So
is it?
Cheers to that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. I don't know if we needed to put some kind of negative experience about the gay community on that specific week. But it wasn't on purpose. But overall, it's not a negative
crime to me.
No, it was just
no, I
we're talking about an abuser. It doesn't matter whether they're gay or straight.
No, but also like being closeted and not being able to be yourself is gonna do stuff to your psyche.
Yeah, of course. So, what else did I say we would cover? That was a feedback. For your own feedback, send it through email. It's talkingasspodcast@gmail.com, or use the link in the show description to find the website, and there's a contact form there. Be as hateful as you want, or as loving as you want. Either way, it'll get read, and you'll either be ridiculed or not. The most important topic, though, that I wanted to cover today, Happy Gilmore 2, the most important movie of the decade.
Of today.
I'm going to assume you saw it.
I did see it. I had to catch up and watch the first and the second, obviously, because it wasn't on my radar.
You hadn't seen the first one until this year?
No.
Right.
No, like this week. Same week.
Okay.
But loved it.
Any thoughts about number 2? Don't compare it to number 1, just as a movie. It's 30 years later.
Well, it's really nice.
Right. Anything else?
Lots.
Really nice.
Lots of cameos. Adam Sandler was still as good.
Tell you what we'll do here, Sylvia.
Yeah.
I shall take the movie review lead here.
Oh, okay.
And you may react to what I'm saying and see if you agree or not. Because very nice doesn't quite cut it for this.
I have a degree in media. I do.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I'll say very nice to that. Okay, number 1. The villain sucked. And this wouldn't be that different from any other sort of silly comedy that's made half for children, half for adults, who we never know with Adam Sandler. But they had Shooter McGavin, who is not only one of the greatest golfers of all time, of course, but one of the greatest comedic villains of all time. A classic villain. A legend of our generation. That was the villain was really bad. He was called something like Frank Manatee or something, and no one even explained where his name came from. He had no origin story, nothing. I will excuse the writers slightly, because what happened is they had the guy who played Chubbs, the caddy in the first one, and the coach, the sort of sage character. The actor had a big written part in this, written for him. Yeah, so he died, so that's why they had to rewrite a bunch. So maybe that the whole origin story of the villain got lost, but pretty awful, and it was the worst part of the movie. The last 15-20 minutes don't really offer anything other than sort of slapstick for 10-year-olds maybe, or people who are just really into slapstick like you.
Love
it. Yeah.
I will add a review point now that my memory's returned a bit. That see, you might disagree, but my view of there was lots of young'uns in it, and obviously the enemy guy, villain, was representing this new generation of I don't know, Snapchat type people.
Yeah.
And
yeah, somebody I heard said the whole movie felt a bit like an hour and a half TikTok video, which was the point, was to make a very different movie.
The point is, it was by the way, we see you and we still think you're very vapid. I like that part.
Yes, some of it feels like a big old satire towards internet culture, but still included a bunch of the cameos. So there are about 80 cameos in this of celebrities from various fields, but very many are from for the generation below us. So I know who Post Malone is, but then there were things like Bad Bunny, who I didn't even,
No.
I knew the name, but I didn't know what kind of music that is, or wouldn't
I
have
didn't know
recognized.
he was the waiter
Yeah.
guy.
Huge speaking role.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite cameos then?
I think McElroy was really sweet. I know which. Who do you have?
Out of the golfers, so I'll do categories. Professional golfers, I think Scottie Scheffler took the cake. I think it was written perfectly for him. He had lots of speaking scenes, and he pulled them off. The joke where he takes Shooter McGavin's pistols, the finger pistols, and goes Scheffler. He was great. All the golfers, you have to say, they knew how to make fun of themselves, and that was impressive. What was really confusing, though, is that the entire plot, the bad guys were from this rival golf league, and that was clearly making fun of the Saudi league that's rivaling the traditional golf tours, right? From real life. What was really weird is that the Saudis let pro golfers who are in that league play on the team that was clearly the good guys representing the PGA Tour and the United States of America and all of that.
Yeah, but then they're probably likely to follow them more, aren't they, now?
Yeah.
After they've been in a trendy film. John Daly, don't underestimate him.
Huge. Okay, I was going to go there. I'm going to say that the reason John Daly wasn't the best professional golfer in it is that I think he was one of the best in it. Period. As an actor, John Daly is a retired professional golfer. Therefore, he is.
Didn't do any golf actually in it, did he?
No, and he's just a cultural icon, especially in North America. And, he's a country singer too. He came out with an album once, and yeah, John Daly was amazing in it. And there were so many. I missed some that I'm ashamed of. Like, okay, this very podcast is going to cover the NFL season a little bit, hopefully humorously and accessibly to those who don't care so much. But I missed Travis Kelce, who was in 3 or 4 scenes, or at least 2 or 3 scenes, and had a speaking role. And I missed it. That's Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Oh, he was a waiter as well, was he?
Yeah, he played a waiter, yeah. And then obviously massive names, Eminem.
Oh my god, that was weird. He looked really weird. Well, I think Eminem does look quite like plasticine.
Yeah.
Like shiny face.
Yeah.
But it was good because the guy previously who did the heckling role in the first one was creepy looking as well.
Exactly.
So it did better.
Yeah. So Eminem plays the son of the creepy heckler from the first one. It was great. And when Eminem falls into the water and starts fighting an alligator and says, Detroit! Detroit! That was fair enough. That was hilarious. Just a movie full of, it became about tracking the cameos and when anyone there's a new scene, and when the first person starts speaking, it became about competing with someone else or your own mind about, wait a minute, who is this?
Yeah, it's just packed.
Yeah, it's packed with celebrities. Anyway, I thought an amazingly fun thing. I wouldn't necessarily call it a movie. It's certainly not a classically great, silly comedy like Happy Gilmore, the original. It was more of a 90-minute thing that works in the current age of the internet and culture. And in that sense, it was a great piece of art.
Well, he's really good, isn't he?
Yeah, Adam Sandler got old quick, though. That is a thought. He looked old. He also did 18 holes of on Bryson DeChambeau, who's also in the movie. Pro golfer, did a YouTube golf thing with Bryson, like an hour-long thing, and he does look old. Not a bad golfer, looks like a decent golfer, but he does seem pretty old.
Yeah.
And sad because it's someone we grew up with, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's looked kind of the same for a really long time.
Yep. All right. That's Happy Gilmore 2. If you haven't watched it yet, then I don't know what planet you live on. I think you're a lost person. I think the overlap between people who listen to this and the people who will watch Happy Gilmore 2 should be 100%.
You should.
I expect 100%.
Definitely get a partnership with them. or should have. You know, it's a shame you've missed the boat on.
Yeah, this isn't a massive ad, by the way. I don't think it needs ads. I heard it did broke some Netflix records or something, so it doesn't need advertisement. Also making waves. See what I'm doing here? Also making waves is the tsunami that started from the earthquake in the Pacific. And why is that relevant to this very podcast, other than it's a thing that happened? It's not a thing. You like volcanic tectonic science, don't you?
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's a lot of pressure going on, and the big things happening, meaning bigger things will come.
Yeah. And the reason it's being mentioned on this show is that it happened near a group of islands that's very interesting. The Kuril Islands. Basically, they're a chain of islands that form what is the border between Japan and Russia. And they're massively contested. Well, first of all, to anyone out there who hasn't looked at Russia on a map that isn't Eurocentric, look at it again, and how almost strange it is that Russia is such a European power and a threat and a expanding empire and all this stuff. But it's also in the Pacific.
Yeah.
And I understand that their Pacific fleet and their Pacific ambitions are not quite as dangerous at the moment as their European ambitions and Asia and Middle Eastern, sort of Central Asian ambitions. But, well, why am I calling it ambitions? Imperialism. Why is it only America that's imperialist, right? It's not. Here's a secret. It's not just white people who are imperialist, and it's not just Europeans or Americans. It's the Russians are massively imperialist too, and so are the Chinese, and so are whatever. Anyway, yeah. So the Kuril Islands are, if you look at a map, you look at Russia extends basically to Japan, and it wasn't always the case. It extended almost to Japan, to that sort of region out there. But these islands have been where, obviously, there were, long story short, various wars, the Russo-Japanese War, the First World War, then the Second World War, and basically after the atomic bomb fell on Hiroshima, and it was clear that Japan was going to surrender, the Soviets moved in and took a bunch more of these islands. Japan still today claims that the southernmost ones are theirs, but de facto they're all Russian. By the way, both empires, the Tsarist Russia and Soviet Union, but also the Japanese, have had policies there that basically there are what you would call indigenous people. They're called the Ainu people, or were. Both, they have been forcibly relocated or forcibly had their beliefs and language and culture changed by both sides. But most recently, the Soviets basically invaded these. They're volcanic islands, massively volcanic, huge earthquakes and tsunamis regularly. And they basically invaded them, and instead of whatever was there, they put up, Stalinist architecture and moved populations that weren't from there to live there. What the Soviet Union did everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, so not necessarily an island paradise in the sense that Cayman Islands, where fucking Gary and our other money people live.
Living it up there.
Yeah. Gary's not a nice man. But not necessarily an island paradise like Anguilla either, or even Diego Garcia. More bleak, foggy, extremely volatile in terms of both geopolitics and weather and climate. But if you look at pictures of the Kuril Islands, which I encourage everyone to look up now, there are some paradise-like elements of it. A perfectly shaped volcanic cone called the Asimov, whatever. You'll find it when you go through Wikipedia and the internet. Fascinating whether Russia basically now cares at all about that region, or whether it's like, if things heat up in that region of the world with Taiwan, China, Russia, Japan, all of this, the United States and its allies and Australia, then is Russia still today basically planning on island hopping and taking Japan completely?
Yeah.
Because if seriously, hard to on audio only to describe this, but one of the main islands, the northernmost so-called main or core island of Japan, Hokkaido,
Mm.
is basically on borders Russia. If you look at a map, it's crazy how far south the Kuril Islands come. They are touching Japan. Yeah. And Japan argues they're in Japan. So so is it still the plan somewhere in the, because it was, Stalin had secret plans to just hop from there and
Well,
take Hokkaido
yeah,
and
but
maybe
it's
all of
quite,
Japan. Yeah.
that's quite tricky to just,
Yeah.
you're like, I see an island,
Yes.
quadruple plus some. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just take them as well, but they've got a lot more going on.
Plus, you always have to control the population as well.
That's what I
And
mean.
yeah, and Japan isn't going to be a joke to try to relocate and brainwash and all that. So it's not like taking a couple of provinces in eastern Ukraine or something. Yeah. Anyway, fascinating. For more information on the Coral Islands, we're not going to do a deep dive, and that doesn't have to do with my laziness or anything. I actually did a bunch of research about this. But with these islands, it was my ignorance. Other people have been interested in this topic, even in the podcasting space. So if you search it in your favorite podcasting app, you should come across at least a couple of nice academic ones that look more into the strategy and geopolitics. But one I recommend is a podcast called 80 Days, an exploration podcast, something like that. And they did an episode about 6 years ago or so about the Coral Islands. Very well researched, entertaining, does the history, a bit of the geopolitics, but not too much, and a bit on the indigenous population and all that. I think that was very good. So listen to that for more info. But what I'm gonna say is, on Talking Ass, the Coral Islands will now be on our map, meaning we will find out what kind of financial arrangements we can, dodgy.
Any dealings, like any business agreements we can come to with the island.
Yeah, exactly. And final thing about this, though, I did have a thought, because I did have a thought about this. I mentioned indigenous people and the Ainu people of the Coral Islands. Started thinking about that word and that concept, and it's like, it's the one that you're meant to use when you're not trying to say things like Orientals or natives or words that we're not meant to use anymore. But indigenous kind of implies that they were the first ones there. But from my quick research, it's a bit unclear whether they were the first people there. But they were there maybe from the 1600s or so, or something like that. But the archaeology, look into it if you're interested. But my point is, when we say indigenous about people who just have slanted eyes, wearing some kind of seal fur and posing in front of a canoe with a harpoon, then we are denying them, maybe in their history or their folklore, they're actually very proud about their heroic conquest of that area from another people. For example, that could be their entire folklore. And we're just saying you're indigenous because you look like that. And that doesn't mean they're indigenous based on just that, like, black and white photo of some harpoons and a seal, They might be like, oh no, we violently conquered this from them bastards and we're very proud of it. That's our, like, whole thing. Like,
There would be.
yeah.
There's lots.
And most likely they did, right? That's how humans behave.
It's different. The term indigenous is like 5 steps off from primitive.
Yeah.
Isn't it? From a judgment there.
In Canada, they use something called First Nations. And that's the same thing. It's like, wait a minute, first where? Are we sure about that? Like, what if they don't want to be first? What if they believe that they heroically liberated it from some kind of heathens? And they, like, what if they?
It's like the Peru discussion where it was like the Incas.
Yeah.
And they were actually only 1600, so they weren't the first people. They were like well late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, yeah. So that just a thought. But yeah, Coral Islands. I will let you have the last word with your public service announcement, but I want to tell a story. We always have updates when things that have been mentioned or people who have appeared on the show when there are updates. So I have a story about the dragon dog. The dragon dog was mentioned in season 1, if you remember. It's a slightly unhinged animal that lives in Eastern Europe. And the dog was on a walk the other day and saw a hedgehog.
Oh.
And the hedgehog, yeah, the hedgehog
fought back.
The hedgehog curled up in the ball and the spikes came out. And the owner of this dog tried to keep the dragon back and like, no, you're not going there. So the dog jumped, tackled the owner into a bush.
Oh.
And swallowed the hedgehog.
What?
With spikes and everything. Blood everywhere, all over his face. But in the end, everyone, commotion, other people show up. There's this blood-faced dog and an owner screaming at it. In the end, dog's fine. Just went to sleep, woke up the next day, and that's it. So, my public service announcement is, if you ever are in Eastern Europe, maybe anywhere really, to be safe, and you come across a dog that looks like a French bulldog Doberman cross, like a massive bulldog full of muscles, looks like, for a good reason, it might be the same dog. The dog on the website, on the banner image of the Talking Ass website. If you see a dog looking like that, don't fuck with it. No. Because it will swallow you, bleed a little, and then go to sleep.
Do you think he just chewed him up loads?
I don't know, but if hedgehog spikes, and he ate like 400 hedgehog spikes, and he's not even fazed by it the next day or the same evening, that's a little bit worrying.
It's very worrying anyway. You don't need the hedgehog story to be worried about him.
No.
He's bad.
All right. What do you want to say to the people?
So my public service announcement and last word. Although there's lots of greed in the world and need to gain power, loads of people are just trying to get along in life. And my last word is arboriculture.